Editor Prism from the future here. Before we begin, I need to talk about a disaster that befell me during editing. I was moving some files around, and long story short, I ended up losing like half of my footage. Months of stuff disappeared because I don't understand how the cut function works. As a result, some of this footage has been recreated with some dramatic reenactment, and some of the stuff that happened during this period is probably missed. I'm putting out this episode in a suboptimal state because it's basically the only way I can move on with this account, which is a shame because I worked really hard on this episode, but there isn't really much I can do about it at this point. But every setback is a learning experience, and the comeback is always greater than the setback. So let's get into this. Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm assuming it's a long time in the future. So let's start off with a nice little milestone. With these points I hit myself 60. And that gets me yew trees. So when it comes to that, we can craft the bow, etc, etc. But let's take a look and see what else we need to cover. It's been a while, so let's have a refresher of our current tasks. In the last episode, we completed the woodcutting, fire making, and fletching level requirements. We also picked up the crafting level from spinning flax into bowstrings. We got the cooking level in the first episode from the rabbits, and this episode will be tackling the mountain that is farming. Secondly, we have our best in slot gear. We need a full set of leather armor for range and wizard robes for magic. I did manage to snag enough imp hides so that I can make that armor, so we can use that in place of the wizard robes as they actually have a higher requirement. And lastly, we have the monsters. We need to kill a cow and collect the drops of cornucopia and the rubber chickens from chickens. The abomination was already taken care of in the last episode. So that is currently what's on our plate. I fully expect things to change as I level up and collect more things, but we'll burn those bridges when we get to them. There was something I forgot to mention during the last episode. While I was hunting the imps to get their hides and whatever, I climbed up on this wall over here, and it unlocked a music track, and that got me thinking, should I be required to get the music tracks as I continue? Because technically they're part of the Music Maestro achievement, and that is a completionist cape requirement, I believe. But I had no idea that this was up here. Through that whole time that I've been playing in the woodcutting grind and the fletching and all that other stuff, I did not unlock that music track. It was only when I came up here on this wall, completely randomly, I unlocked the music track. And it's not part of the chunk picker. I was talking to some of the other chunk people, and they don't think it's a requirement, but as I mentioned in one of the earlier episodes, I want to do achievements, but there isn't like a very good resource for music tracks. I would kind of have to go through the wiki and through the music player here to see. And there's over 1,000 tracks, but it'll tell you where. But I would have to kind of individually pick out what would be unlocked where. And the thing is, these hints are not specific. It could say it's unlocked in Taverley, and Taverley would include this wall I walked up upon, and that would I would have no idea. I would assume that it's down here outside of my chunk. So yeah, I think I can go either way on this. I'm not really sure, but I want to know what you guys think about it. I think I have found my most efficient method so far. So basically what I do is I dig around until I find a big open space, as I mentioned previously, but you need at least a 4x4, preferably larger. I'm not actually sure if it works in a 4x4. I know it works for at least a 5x5 of empty space. And whenever you dig up that space, it'll automatically reveal where the potato is. And then when you plant the flag and it resets it, you can just dig once or twice, depending on if you dig up the number, and it'll automatically reveal where it is. The reason I say 4 at least, I'm not sure if it has to be bigger, I haven't really tested it too much, but at least 4. Because if you dig up one of the numbers, you need to move at least 2 spaces away. So basically what I do, it usually ends up being in a corner like this, and I position myself 2 by 2 away, because the space that it digs up is actually centered around your character, not where you're digging up the hole. So as I mentioned here, I dug up numbers, so I want to go 1, 2, 3 spaces away, and that'll clear this 5 by 5 space and reveal exactly where the thing is. And you can also get extra points by digging up the space that it resets. I've got like a 7 by 5 here, so it actually works. This is actually a big space over that way, but I'm sticking to this 7 by 5 because the farmer sometimes takes some time, so I prioritize placing the flag down, and then if I have extra time, I go and dig up the extra space for those extra points. So after I reset these flags, like I'm running out soon, I'll get a clip of me planting all 10 and speed it up, and I think I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. I've got 10 flags. We'll go ahead and plant them and see how long it takes. And time, that's the last flag. We started at 35:39, ended at 38:21, so it's about 3 minutes to use 10 flags. So with good attention, you can probably place around 150 to 180 flags an hour, and let's say maybe an average of 100 points per flag. That's kind of how much I see I've been getting. You can probably get around 15,000 to 20,000 points an hour, maybe, which is not good, which is kind of why I didn't really want to look at this, but I think it's good information to give you an idea of how long this is taking. The other thing I want to mention is the other Implings. I'm getting up there in the farming, the hunter, excuse me. I'm up to Earth Implings at the moment, and those guys looked okay to catch, so I think I'll catch them as I go out there to check trees or whatever I want to do. The only upsetting part is my XP will no longer be divisible by 30, so we can't use it to see how many rabbits we've fed, but you know, that's fine. I like stuff more than pretty numbers, so I think it's a good trade-off. It was at this point in the footage where the circus arrived. That is not something I can recreate because the circus is no longer here. But we did manage to get our first range levels. We got up to 8, and we got some magic levels as well during it. Got a little bit of agility from the trapeze, not too much. We got some cosmetics as well, but I destroyed them because they were not good looking. At the same time, we managed to get up to 5 Slayer, and that unlocked crawling hands, which can be found in the dungeon over here. So that unlocks a drop that we need to get. They drop the crawling hand item, which is an item that you can stuff and mount in your house, or you can turn into a pet, both of which require NPCs from very far away, so that's not going to be happening. But I do need to collect the item, as it is a rare unique item. So you know what that means? We've got a bonus grind. Well, it happened. I got the spice. It was like the 3rd gourmet impling, so that unlocks the curry grinds. But as I mentioned before, not unexpected. It was like a 110 times 2, so we've got another bonus grind, but this one was expected. With this rabbit here, we hit ourselves 50 hunter. That unlocks the eclectic impling. But before I talk about that though, a couple life updates. This is as you can see, I'm in high contrast mode. It's a setting, in case you didn't know, in the main settings of the game. You just type in high contrast, it comes up. It turns all these holes blue, so you can see them pretty easily. It turns the rabbits yellow as well, so you can also see them. Sacrifice the color of the numbers, but with my system, as you can see, they're all gray now. But with the system that I spoke about earlier, not an issue because it's always ones or twos. So definitely something that you should consider for whatever reason you want to go ahead and do this mini game. Do not recommend playing the mini game, but do recommend high contrast. It's good in other places in the game too. If you have a hard time seeing like things you need to click on during quests or just monsters you're trying to kill, it's pretty useful. I recommend checking it out a little bit. I've also moved again. I'm now in my new apartment that I'll be here for at least a year, so we're done with the moving. Anyway, back to the game. With the Implings, I've been looking at the drop tables of some of the other ones I've been looking at, particularly the Earth Impling that has the Fire and Earth talismans. I can add those to my Wicked Hood, and they'll let me get 100 runes per day. So that's something I'll try to pick up when I can see them. I don't get the pure essence upgrade until you feed it the Omni talisman, which is in the Rune Crafting Guild, and that's obviously not coming anytime soon. Other imps, the essence implings, I think I had a clip before. It's been like a few weeks. I've been here for a long time since I recorded something. But yeah, that only gives me runes, and because those aren't tasks, I'm pretty safe to collect them as I see them. The young implings and the baby implings are no good at all. They have the clay. The ecliptic implings that I just unlocked, I'm not going to catch either. They have a 1 in 100 chance of, what do they have? Wild Pies, which is a whopping 85 HP level. So that's not something I want to do. None of the other drops on them, that drop table, look particularly interesting to me, so I'm going to go ahead and leave those alone. And then the next impling in line would be the Spirit impling at 54. I don't think I want to touch those either because those have steel ingot drops, and that would increase the summoning task, which is already I think 92 for the Wolping Tingers. If I go south for my next draw, it'll bring it up to 96 for the Steel Titan, which is definitely not something I want to do. So, and none of the other things on this drop are particularly peaking to me. Yeah, so that's it for this update. We're up to 76. Almost 77, which would be probably around 72%, I think, if I estimate. So we're getting there. We're getting there, slowly but surely. I predict maybe 2 weeks of more playing. That's if life doesn't get in the way. But yeah, we'll see. See you when I see you. And this right here is the worst loss I had this whole build-up of me getting closer and closer and closer to 80, and I lost it. So, enjoy this dramatic reenactment of what happened. This is it. Just one more flag. Oh, we're so close. We did it. Wow, thank you, Mr. Farmer. We did it. Hooray. We got enough points. That is 187,000 points. We did it. Oh, Lady Winkin, I have come to you with enough points to achieve my goal. Please, trade this over to me. Da 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 da. 80, yeah, woo, good job, we did it. How was that? Did you believe it? That's it. We've done it. We've reached the end. You know, there's a bit of sadness within the happiness of reaching a goal. For the past few months, I've had an end in sight. Something to work for. Now that I'm here, the path isn't as clear. I just have to log in, dig some holes, get some points. Life has been so simple. Maybe I should just stay here, continue on. No way, get me out of here. I stand here today at the end of the journey with my leprechaun buddy here to talk about something some of the more eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed. I took so long in this chunk that I actually managed to snag level 7 Slayer, and from the monthly statues, what this means is I can now kill cave bugs, and that is actually devastating. Why? It's actually one of the biggest bonus grinds. They drop herb lore supplies, both grimy herbs and secondaries. This technically means that I have a somewhat reliable method to train herb now, and technically that means I would need to make the highest level potion I can, which would be the extreme strength potion at 89 herb lore. However, to me, this kind of falls into the meme levels of grinds, as this would take hundreds of thousands of cave bugs kills, if not millions, plus the banking, plus actually making tens of thousands of potions. So I'm not doing that. I will offer a compromise, however, as a reward for doing this crazy farming grind I just did. I will attempt to make the highest level potion I can from the secondaries I can get. This would be a strength potion from Cool Arm and Limport Root at level 55. I feel this is relatively reasonable. It's still a long grind, as it's still thousands of potions, but I can kind of foresee me able to do this. But with that being said, I think this is a good time to end this episode. In the meantime, I'm going to start working on the HP and the cooking grinds, as that will let me watch for Implings and get the pie I still need. Let me know what you guys think about the herb lore compromise and the music track requirement I asked about earlier in the episode. But until next time, so long, and thanks for watching.